Well, smaller parties make our democracy work. Our democracy is multi-party democracy. And anything that suggests that small parties are a spoiler is actually anti-multi-party democracy. It's wrong. Whether they are created for opportunistic reasons or not, but our constitution envisages a concoction of political parties. Monyanya wa political party. That's what this constitution invites. Multi-party democracy. And I'm really not offended by the multi-party democracy. It only becomes a problem when people with no constituency now starts spoiling things in municipalities for their own personal interests. Like that ABC. I mean, Motuno ya Molaru on a Monday or no Wednesday, the ANC will be out of power. On Wednesday is on an ANC list. By the way, we have instructed our lawyers to look at that thing that they did in eThekwini, because those positions belong to the party called the ANC. And I don't think they can willy-nilly be given to other parties. So we think something illegal could have happened in eThekwini. So very soon they will be receiving papers, will be challenged. If that, because those seats, you know what happened, were allocated those seats by the IEC in that executive. The IEC says the ANC will get so much, DA so much, the EFF so much. We have a seat there.
Yeah, we do.
I mean, one seat. It's given to us by what we got through elections. Then Renata Mairo no yuala, sell that seat. Or no, we don't want that seat in the executive. How can you do that? That is a party seat. It's allocated to a party. And then you go and take another party which is not allocated a seat and then give it a seat. The ANC gives itself the power it doesn't have, because that power of allocating seats to political parties in the executive lies with the IEC. So the lawyers are looking into that matter. We have not had a postmortem. We have had a meeting to look at immediate results and then look at how to approach the coalition, what are the issues and all of that. Right at the beginning of the year, we are going to have our own plenum where we are going to plan for the year ahead, and we'll also review our election performance thoroughly and in detail, ward by ward, voting district by voting district, municipality by municipality, and province by province. And that's where decisions will be made in terms of which direction are we taking as the EFF. But otherwise, we are generally happy with how the EFF is performing. I mean, we could have moved the ANC in Nelson Mandela. But if Helen says to a councillor of the DA, don't come to a meeting, and then they lose with one vote, and they're upset, the opposition, by the way. Remember, we shouldn't be voting with the DA. We got insulted so much by the DA. But we've got no big egos, because the agenda is bigger than us. The agenda is this country. We want to save this country. But the smaller parties don't have this thick skin that we have in the EFF. In Nelson Mandela, they walked away. The same thing they did in eThekwini. They walked away because the DA was just not budging. But we said we're going to stay here. We've got a country to rescue. It doesn't matter what these whites are saying. We're going to pursue a different direction to rescue this country. But the small parties will not have the same energy and determination. And from time to time, they will get tempted to agree to this or that. In Nelson Mandela, there are two small political parties who have said to the EFF, whatever direction you take, we are with you. We'll move that way. But this whites insults people like nobody's business. They belittle them. They talk down on them. You know why they don't want EFF in those negotiations? They can't do that to the EFF. They will never talk down to us. They will never talk to them the way they want. But these small parties get spoken down like they've got no relevance and significance. When they leave those meetings, they say, we don't want anything to do with the DA, nothing. And we try to speak to them. Even there at Egwin Mavundla, we spoke to him until he collected a ballot paper. We never gave up on him. You know who we spoke to? Makosini Khoza. She refused to vote with the DA. She refused and said she's going to abstain. We fought, she said no. We had to call Mashaba and said, she's saying something else. And then Mashaba had to make an intervention. Then she said to the SG, no, my leadership called, we are now on board. Even when she says she's on board, go and watch 4-5 when they were voting and they are interviewing her. On the queue, when people are going to vote, these people are racist. They are arrogant of the DA. We are not even sure if they will vote for IFP. How do you say that when we are voting? How do you say that against your bloc? We said that when we are fighting there, fine. Now we are voting. You should be encouraging and agitating and projecting unity of people. She's still insulting that DA to the ballot box. That one, if Mashaba is not careful, she's going to be a big problem, that woman, for that guy. And if I want to take it to extreme, I think she voted for ANC. I think she did. Because when we did a head count, we were 110. We were 110 without ABC. But Mutushu keeps on complaining. How do you complain even on the eve of voting and believe this person is going to vote for these people? She's just doing it because Mashaba said, this is the direction we're moving. I don't think, with my right conscience, I don't think she voted for DA. She did two things. Either she abstained, like she said before the voting, or she voted for ANC. Anyway, those are her colleagues before, and they come from the same area. It should be easy for her to vote for them. So that's where we are. But what happens? The EFF supposed to be the biggest crybaby because Helen and Steenhuisen, unprovoked. One king, Steenhuisen aya toilet, ogare we are guy or EFF yona rinyaki. Heban. We are on their lips, yeah. With whether you are talking, they behave like Karima Brown, the late Karima Brown. When she interviews people on something else, she just makes a turn and say, what do you think about the EFF? We are not here for that. So, Steenhuisen, Helen, insulting us from the first day to the last day, even after. We have no problem with that. We are fixing the country. They don't know what we are doing. We are fixing the country. So when you are on a country duty, you don't entertain a distraction which will destroy the giraffe view. We don't see it here. We see it there. We are preparing for there. Let me tell you, the ANC is our immediate competitor. When you remove the ANC in the metros, you are leveling the playing field. ANC and EFF in Joburg, they are going to meet on the streets of Soweto as equals. If we don't have a poster, the ANC won't have a poster because the safe is closed. Why must I give to the ANC, my immediate competitor? I don't compete constituency with DA. They are voted by white racists, not progressive whites. So I compete with the ANC. The sooner I close the safe everywhere, the better for the growth of the EFF. We are closing the ANC out to level the playing field. Look, this election, how it was so nice. They didn't have posters. They didn't have T-shirts. They had very few billboards. But abuse about when they've got money, at the corner of a voting station, they have T-shirts like this. Every time a person comes, Kunjani Mama, Kunjani Mama, they greet people with T-shirts. Nothing like that this year. Nothing like that in 2024 will be equal. Metros are gone. Gauteng is gone. There is nothing magical that will happen in between now and 2024 for the ANC to win Gauteng. Why must I vote for people who are going to win against me in 2024 by giving them resources? Remember, this thing of municipalities also create odd jobs. These small jobs, they are given to ANC Youth League, ANC volunteers as a EPW type of work in municipalities. Those people are the campaigners of the ANC, those ones. They tell them to take off those overalls and send them to go and do door to door to prepare for Ramaphosa's arrival. That bus you are saying Ramaphosa moves around with a bus when he campaigns here in Gauteng is this young people who are doing odd jobs in municipalities. They get told, come here, they can't say no because they will be fired. Then they get moved around with buses to support the ANC. It will never happen. Where? With which metro? Lena, you think it's only in the metros. You don't know what's happening in West Rand. You don't know what's happening in City Bay. The whole of Gauteng, they have nothing left. And because they do it for money, if they can't make money, they are going to leave. Now, they are crying all over social media. Hey, Malema sold out. Malema, as if I'm their father. They don't know where their father is. They must go and look for that big nose where he is. They must not say for me, I sold them out. I never sold them out. I'm not their father. I'm not their father.